Hi everyone, and welcome back to the MagicaVoxel tutorial. In this one, I will be showing you guys some things that I wish I knew when I first started.
So an important note is that throughout this tutorial, you might see my UI slightly different. For instance, your UI will probably look something like this. However, there's also a different mode, which is the world view, and that is done by pressing tab. So to go back to model view, where you can actually directly edit your models, you can press tab and that will bring you back to model view. Or you can, if you're in world view, you can just double click an object you want to edit and that will take you back to model view. So that's just gonna keep in mind, tab is the keybind for that.
Okay, so one of the first things that you should know is that right here on this left, you see a list of colors. And obviously you can choose these colors to decorate the objects in your scene. However, there's also separate palettes you can use. So if you don't want to be stuck with these colors here, you obviously can switch it over to palette 1, which has a list of other colors that maybe make a little more sense. And if you switch it to 2, you get grayscale. And if you switch to 3, you can do your own custom colors. So you can just click on a color swatch here, anywhere is fine. And then go down to here to color, and then play with a slider here. It takes both RGB values, so if you have a custom RGB value, you can enter it here. Or you can click on this button, and then put in a custom hex value. And if you don't like these sliders and you want more of a traditional like color wheel, you have that option too if you click this circle.
Let's say that this is what we made and we want to see how it looks. So we click render and here it is. You can see it fully rendered in our scene. However, what if we have something else? What if we have something like this, which is much bigger than the cube that we just made, and we go and render it? You can see it only renders a small portion. And that's because by default, MagicaVoxel has this setting under sample settings turned off. So if you want to see the whole thing, you want to turn on sparse. So with sparse turned on, it should load your entire scene. Let's say we want to edit this cube or this crate here. Instead of trying to use the camera to zoom in on it and to focus around it, what you can do is actually lock the camera onto this cube. And what you can do is to first select it and then press 5 on the keyboard, and that will lock the camera to orbit around whatever object you want to focus on. Okay, so let's say we go into edit mode and we want to put some writing right here. You can see this is blocking our view and we can't really see that. You can go into perspective view and kind of like zoom around and look like this. However, there's a better method for this, and that's down here. You can disable display background objects, and now you can zoom as far as you want and your view won't be obstructed by any surrounding objects, which will allow you to edit any area that you couldn't have edited before with that setting turned on. In our previous example, we saw that pressing 5 on the keyboard focuses the camera to pan around an object, and that's just one of many key bindings that MagicaVoxel has. Sticking on the topic of camera keybinds, let's say you position the camera for what you want to take a picture of, but you still want to edit some stuff later. Like if you want to go back here and edit, you don't have to find that ideal camera position to take that picture. You can press 7 on the keyboard, and then you can go in and edit anything you want and have the camera wherever it is. And then if you press 8, it will bring the camera back to where you saved it. And to learn more about MagicaVoxel shortcuts, you can actually go to their webpage, and under the shortcuts tab, you will find a list of all the different shortcuts that are linked to keybindings in MagicaVoxel. Next thing is we're going to be taking a look at the pattern brush. So this is probably one of the more complicated ones, but it really can save you lots of time. So let's say you wanted to use this asset and put it in a different scene. You would of course go and save it. I'm just going to name it asset, and then let's hop into a different scene. Let's say we have the scene here and we wanted to use that asset we recently created and to plop it in. What you can do is to go to the right settings, click on the star icon, and then click on asset, or whatever you name the file you want to put in. And then you have a list of options right here. Obviously we only had one, so we can just left click and drag it in. And you can do this multiple times. There's really no limit on how many you can put in. And that basically allows you to copy over assets that you created and put them in a new scene that is fairly quick compared to just traditionally copying from one file and putting it in the next. But let's say we wanted to use this asset and attach it to an existing object, or to even use it to erase portions from an existing object. Let's go ahead and create a new object and make it somewhat large. So if you want to attach it to here, you would go to the left settings and click on the star icon and hit attach, and then click on the asset you want to attach to the object. And then it's already trying to do it. All you have to do is find where you want to do and then click left click. And some hotkeys using the plus and minus on the keyboard allows you to rotate the pattern. And for erasing voxels based on what the asset is, you obviously just hit erase, and now you'll be erasing what this object essentially was. Using the pattern brush can allow you to create new objects or textures really quickly, and also allow you to copy over existing assets into a new scene pretty quickly. And this could be very powerful depending on what you do with it. The last one we want to take a look at is Boolean, which is on the right hand side in the edit settings while you're in world view. So you can just open the Boolean to expand it, and you have a few selections here. The most important one is this one, which is selecting the object you want to use for the Boolean. And it's a little hard to explain what it does. However, there's a small bit of text at the bottom right here that tells you what the setting will do. And let's just go ahead and take a look at one of them. So we're going to use this one. So what I want to do is I want to get this texture onto this cube. So step one is to put this cube to where I want that texture reflected on the cube. And then step two is to select the texture I want to put onto the cube, which in this case is that flat plane. And then you go over to here in the Boolean and click on select operand objects for subtraction / replacement. And then you want to click on that cube and then click on replacement of objects. Now it has put that texture where it was overlapping earlier onto this cube. And I already did a little bit to the texture to create some cool effect. And you can see it has done that within a few clicks. This would have taken a lot longer, where you had to manually go in and edit this cube to get something like this. This specific Boolean tool, where you select the object to subtract or replace, is destructive, meaning it won't ever come back after the Boolean has been already done. Pressing it won't do anything. So if you want to keep the object you want to use as the Boolean, you want to hit Control C to copy, and it saves it to the clipboard. That way when you click on this and you put it here, if you want to add that original object back, you have it saved in your clipboard now, so you can just hit Control V and it'll come back. So yeah, in this video we talked about some of the things I wish I knew when I started MagicaVoxel, and I really hope this video outlines those things to you so that it can help you create scenes that you're pleased about faster and to expedite your learning in MagicaVoxel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.